Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about control hazard which arises while implementing pipelining. It is also known as branch hazard. Control hazard is arising when the processor attempts to make a decision before condition is evaluated. For example, in this case, the branch instruction is getting evaluated initially, but the branch target address is calculated only after the fifth clock cycle. So the new instruction based on this branch target address will be fetched only at clock cycle number 6. But meanwhile, these two instructions will be in the pipeline stages. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clock cycles get wasted for computing the branch target itself. So this leads to control hazard. A control hazard is when we need to find a destination of a branch and can't fetch any new instruction until we know that destination. So we have two different cases whether the branch is taken or branch is not taken. If the branch is not taken, the program counter will be updated with PC plus 4, and if branch is taken, the program counter will be updated with the new branch target where the next instruction is available. It is computed by calculating PC plus 4 plus the immediate address into 4. So consider this example. The first instruction is a branch equal instruction. So the branch target will be available only after the fourth clock cycle. So meanwhile these three instructions will be in the pipeline stages. So those will be accessing the instruction memory registers as well as the ALU. The branch target will be computed like here the program counter is 40. The address which is available in the program counter is 40. So the branch target will be PC plus 4, that is 44. The immediate value is 7. So 7 into 4, 28. So 44 plus 28 is 72. So this new address will be updated in the program counter, and this particular instruction will be fetched at fifth clock cycle only. Actually, it is supposed to be fetched in the second clock cycle itself. Here, due to the delay in the calculation of the branch target address, these three instructions will be in the pipeline stages, and three clock cycle get wasted due to this control hazard. So the penalty is 3 clock cycle. Three different mechanisms are available to overcome the control hazard. One is pipeline stall. In pipelining stall, the loading of the instruction gets stopped until the branch target is available. So the number of clock cycle get wasted will be very high in this case. So implementation of pipelining stall may not be a practical solution for each and every branches. Second one is prediction. So we have two different types of prediction schemes available to overcome the control hazard. One is static branch prediction and second one is dynamic branch prediction. In static branch prediction, the prediction is taken before the execution of the instruction itself. In dynamic branch prediction, the prediction will be taken during runtime. If the prediction goes wrong, we have to undo all the steps carried out, and the clock cycle get wasted only when the prediction goes wrong. The third one is delayed branch. Delayed branch which specifies in architecture that the instruction immediately following the branch is always executed. Assume branch is not taken, so this is the category of static prediction, so used to overcome the control hazard. So consider the same example. We have already mentioned that 3 clock cycle get wasted for computing the branch target address, since these 3 instruction will be in the pipeline stages. So before the branch target is getting calculated, these 3 instruction will be accessing the resources, that is the registers, instruction memory and ALU is used for computing these 3 instructions. So When the branch target address is calculated, then only processor is identifying that these three instructions are wrongly fetched into the pipelining stages. So processor has to perform flushing. Flushing means resetting all the register content, and the register should be available for operating over these particular intended instruction. If prediction goes wrong, processor has to flush all the contents available in the registers as well as other resources used by these three instructions, and it has to fetch the new instruction from the newly calculated target address. Reducing the delay of branches. This technique is used to reduce the penalty which caused due to control hazard. Consider this example. The second instruction is a branching instruction. So normally the branch target address will be computed after the execution stage only. If you could able to add any extra hardware to compute the branch target address in the instruction decoding stage itself. For example, we can able to add an extra hardware like XOR gate to compute the equality between these two registers. Then we can able to compute the branch target address in the instruction decoding stage itself. So by forwarding this address to the next immediate pipeline stage, so we can able to fetch the intended target instruction in the third clock cycle itself. So by reducing the delay of branches by doing this forwarding mechanism, by implementing an extra hardware in the instruction decoding stage, we can able to reduce the penalty. But the complication factor here is we need an additional forwarding unit here, and if any data dependency between this branch instruction as well as the previous instruction, that also may cause control hazard. The pipeline stage has to stalled, and the second instruction has to wait for the result from the previous instruction. In case if load word is the instruction before this branching instruction, in that case also um, the result of the first instruction will be available only after the fourth clock cycle. So even by implementing the forwarding mechanism, the branch equal cannot be executed from the second clock cycle. So these two problem cannot be avoided in case of control hazard. So dynamic branch prediction. So branch occur with a frequency of 14 percentage to 16 percentage in integer programs, and 3 percentage to 12 percentage in floating point programs. About 75 percentage of the branches are forward branches, and 60 percentage of forward branches are taken while doing the prediction. 80 percentage of the backward branches are more likely to be taken while doing the prediction. So dynamic branch prediction will be more advantageous to overcome control hazard or branch hazard. Here the prediction of branches are happening at the runtime. So we have two different type of dynamic branch prediction scheme available. First one is 1-bit prediction scheme. Second one is a 2-bit prediction scheme. 1-bit prediction scheme. The 1-bit prediction scheme contains a branch prediction buffer or a branch history table. If any branch is taken recently, that history will be available in the branch history table. A branch prediction buffer is a small memory indexed by the lower portion of the address of branch instruction, and the branch history table contains a bit that says whether the branch was recently taken or not. That bit is known as prediction bit. So this is the instruction memory. So this is the branch instruction. This is the address of the branch instruction. The branch history table is indexed by the lower portion of this address. The lower portion 10 bit of the lower portion address is indexed to the branch history table. This is the prediction bit. If the prediction is if the branch is taken recently, then the prediction bit is set as 1, and if branch is not taken previously, the prediction bit will be updated with 0. The branch history table is a simple sort of buffer, but we actually don't know whether the prediction is correct or wrong. Um, the prediction is just a hint, and if it is correct, fetching begins in the predicted direction. If the prediction goes wrong, the incorrectly predicted instructions are deleted, the prediction bit is inverted and stored back, and the proper sequence is fetched and start execution. The simplest one-bit prediction scheme has a performance shortcoming. Even if the branch is almost and taken always, there is a possibility to predict it incorrectly twice rather than predicting incorrectly once when the branch is not taken. So it will lead to a problem. So in order to overcome this issue only, we are moving on to two-bit prediction scheme. Here the prediction is changed only if and only if the branch is wrongly predicted twice. So this is the finite state machine for the two-bit prediction scheme. For example, if initially the prediction is branch is not taken, and if it is not taken, then the prediction is correct. If the prediction is branch is not taken, and if it is taken, initially if the branch is not taken, and if the branch is taken, actually the prediction is wrong, and the state will be changed and the history table will be updated. Now we are at this particular state. If the prediction is branch is not taken, and if it is taken for the second time, so according to the prediction scheme, the prediction is changed if and only if the branch is wrongly predicted twice. According to this case, in the first state as well as in the second state, the branch is taken, but it is not. It is predicted. Predicted wrongly that branch is not taken. So the branch target table will be updated and state will be changed, and the prediction will be changed by changing the state. If initially the prediction is branch is taken, and if it is taken, then prediction is correct. If the branch prediction is branch taken, and if it is not taken, then prediction goes wrong and the history table will be updated and the state will be changed. Now we are in this state. If the prediction is branch is taken, and if it is not taken again for the second time, the prediction will be changed by changing the state, and the prediction decision also will be updated. So advanced prediction scheme. So actually a branch predictor tells us whether or not a branch is taken, but still requires the calculation of the branch target. So in the 5-stage pipelining, this calculation takes one clock cycle. So meaning that the taken branch will have a additional one clock penalty. The delayed branches are one approach to eliminate this penalty due to branch prediction. So another approach is to use cache to hold the destination program counter or destination instruction using the branch target buffer. The 2-bit dynamic prediction scheme uses only information about a particular branch, but in the correlation predictor, uh, it is going to use the information about both the local branch as well as the global behavior of recently executed branches. Together yields greater prediction accuracy for the same number of prediction bits. The second one is the tournament predictor. A more recent innovation in branch prediction is the use of tournament predictor. A tournament predictor use multiple predictors tracking for each branch, which predicts yields the best results compared to normal 1-bit as well as 2-bit scheme. A typical tournament predictor might contain two predictions for each branch index, one based on local information and one based on global branch behavior. A selector would choose which predictor to use for any given prediction. The selector can operate similarly to a 1-bit or 2-bit predictor, favoring uh, whichever of these two predictor has been more accurate. So based on the efficiency of 1 bit predictor or 2 bit predictor, that can be accommodated in the tournament predictor. Some recent microprocessor use such elaborate predictors like tournament predictors. Thank you.